Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees and pranams. Thank you very much for joining in for our Krishna book study session. We are on the last chapter of the Krishna book. Before that, we'll start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankajanabhaya Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Devadeva Jagatpate Nanyam Tvadabhayam Pashe Yatra Mrityu Parasparam Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tvameko Dhayamananam Pavargosi Samshrutehe Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sujeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Taralaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkrpatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for joining in for our Krishna book study session. We are on chapter number 90. This is very interesting how we are seeing in this chapter. As we've seen in the previous chapters, several instances in the past also we've seen how Arjuna goes and commits himself, right? And Krishna is saying, Kaunteya pratijanihi nami bhaktaha pranashyati. My devotee never perishes. So Krishna is time and again proving that in so many circumstances, right? Right from even in the time when, Arjuna said, if I don't kill Jayadratha by this time, then I will enter into fire. And then Krishna actually, made an artificial kind of a sunset, and everybody was like, okay, now the sunset has happened, now Arjuna has to enter the fire. And suddenly Krishna releases the sun, and then in this way Arjuna kills Jayadratha. So many instances. So in this instance, what's happening? Brahmanas, 10 sons have died, and then Arjuna happens to be there, and Krishna is there in the Dwapar Yuga. It is happening that Brahmana sons are dying, and the Brahmana is coming and complaining. The king is not good. Because if the king is qualified, then such things should not be happening in the kingdom. Right? That's why we always look for Rama Rajya. Right? We all know Rama is avatar of Krishna. Krishna is avatari. When Krishna is personally present, how come this is happening? And incidentally, when the 8th or the 9th son was died like that, Arjuna was there and Krishna is there and Balaram is there. Then Arjuna, what does he think? Arjuna is thinking, oh, Krishna is not able to do. Krishna is not able to protect the Brahmana son, but let me protect the Brahmana son. I am so much. I have the Pashupati Astra. I have this Astra from Lord Shiva. So he thinks, it is all an arrangement by the Lord, right? Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord, but it's always an arrangement of the Lord that Arjuna seemingly is surrendering to Shiva and relying on the Pashupati Astra. And he is thinking that I will use this Astra to ensure that the Brahmana son does not die, right? Raki Krishna Mare Krishna Raki Ke. Right? If Krishna has approved that the Brahmana son has to die, the Brahmana son will die irrespective of any arrow, any Astra coming in front of it. It's going to be no use. Because Rake Krishna, Mare Krishna, Rake Ke. Nobody can protect someone that Krishna wants to kill. And if Krishna wants to kill, the killing is only most beneficial for that living entity. Right? So, I always give the example of Parikshit Maharaj. Right? He was protected in the womb of Mother Uttara. Right? Because Krishna wanted to protect. And then later on when Shringi cursed Parikshit Maharaj to die within 7 days, Parikshit Maharaj died within 7 days. So, was Parikshit Maharaj not protected by Krishna? Parikshit Maharaj was not protected the way we think in our material eyes. We say, oh, Krishna did not protect Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj died by the snake bite for apparently no fault of his. Isn't it? That is our material vision. Because of our material vision, we think protection means is to come in certain ways. Krishna always protects his devotees. But how Krishna will protect is not something that we can dictate to Krishna. Right? Abhijna Swarat. Tene Brahma. What is that? Abhijna and Swarat. Janma Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam Vedam Vatsumatra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayon Mulanam. Right. So Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamavalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatra Dharana Para. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever is stated, okay, what is that? Anyways, okay, that is a description of this is Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam. This is talking about the Kaitava Dharma that we should avoid. That is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. In the first verse or the second verse or third verse, no, third verse is Nigama Kalpadror. The second verse, right, where the first verse, where the description of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is given. What is that? Abhijna and Swarat. Abhijna means all knowing and Swarat means all independent, right? So we need not think that Krishna does not know something, then I have to tell Krishna and then only Krishna will know. Krishna is all knowing and Krishna is Swarat. Krishna is independent. Krishna knows what is best for all of us, right? Bhuktaram Egnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suradam Sarvabhutanam. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is in all control and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is my best friend. So this is a formula for no fear, no anxiety. If you're able to completely rely on Krishna, who is having complete control over everything that be, aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva vajante ma udabhava samvitaha. If you're convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Krishna is my best friend, what is the need to worry? Whether we are killed, whether we are protected, whether we are getting our desires fulfilled or not, Krishna is doing the best for us, right? That was proved in Parikshit Maharaj's pastime also, where he was given the remembrance of the Lord, right? Generally, we expect that the Lord protects our material body, which Krishna did also in the beginning, in the womb of Mother Uttara. But later on, Krishna provided protection that is much more than protecting the material body. Because Krishna gave Parikshit Maharaj his own remembrance at the time of death by making Shukadev Goswami coming to the Ganges, to the banks of the Ganges, where Parikshit Maharaj is sitting to die, within 7 days. Right? So how Krishna gives protection is not for us to judge. Right? But Arjuna here is thinking, it just as a lesson for us. Arjuna is thinking, oh, Krishna is not able to protect, so let me use a Pashupati Astra and protect. Will it ever work like that? No. So the Brahmana's 10th son also dies. And then what does Arjuna do? Arjuna wants to enter into the fire. And then Krishna, to protect Arjuna, because Arjuna and Krishna are very great friends. And Krishna tells Arjuna, you are my intimate friend. You are my greatest devotee. So I cannot see you enter into fire. So I'm going to do something which I had not planned for. Right? So many things Krishna had told I will not do. But Krishna ultimately did. Right? Krishna told I will not pick up any weapon. But then when he for giving pleasure to Bhishma Pitamaha and also to protect his dear devotee Arjuna. Right? Because Bhishma Pitamaha's arrows were piercing. And Krishna also helped Arjuna by pushing down the chariot. right? So that the arrow went striking away the crown and not Arjuna himself, right? What was supposed to go through the neck went piercing the crown. So like that, Krishna is not supposed to help. He is supposed to only be a charioteer. But Krishna does many things. And Krishna picks up the, what is that called? The wheel of the chariot, and he runs towards Bhishma Pitamaha. That's fighting. But Krishna told, I will not fight. Right? So Krishna did not protect the Brahmana sons, 10 sons he did not protect. But because Arjuna had promised, and Arjuna was going to enter fire, because he is not able to protect. And what does Krishna do? Okay, fine. I will protect the Brahmana sons. It's not that Krishna was not able to protect. It's not talking about the power of Krishna. Krishna is all powerful. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashashriya jnana vairagyasya sannam bhagaitingana. Krishna has all the opulences and unlimited quantity. Right. But now it's not that Krishna was not able to protect. Arjuna was not able to protect. Right. Others are not able to protect because of their limitation of strength. But Krishna did not protect because he is Swaraj. He decided that the Brahmana son has to die. And that is for the welfare of the Brahmana son. But because Arjuna wanted to protect the Brahmana son, he was going to enter fire. Krishna said, okay, I will help you reclaim not the 10th, 9th, 8th son, but all the 10 sons of the Brahmanas. And if Krishna decides to reclaim the sons, then who can stop, right? So that's what we're going to read today. How Krishna is going to help Arjuna, although he himself had not protected the son of the Brahmana. How he protects the word of his devotees. That is what is the lesson that we learn from here. Yeah. All right. Let's quickly go ahead and read. Devotees who want to read can raise your hands. Okay, Sridhar Prabhu, please go ahead. If Lord Krishna was going to see Lord Vishnu.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam, Mataji.
Okay, 1 second, Prabhu. Oh, just a second. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare. Okay, one more point I wanted to mention here is, if Krishna were going to see Lord Vishnu, so this Brahmana's sons also were taken away by Vishnu because Vishnu also wanted to have darshan of Krishna. Right? We saw that Vishnu and Krishna are not different. Okay, 16108. Yeah. What was he saying? Yeah, even Vishnu wanted to have darshan of Lord Krishna. Krishna is only having.
Mataji, mic. Mataji, no audio.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Am I audible? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
How audible?
Yeah. Because my speaker something is wrong. So I just connected on my mobile for the audio. All right. So what was he saying? Yeah. So if Krishna wants to protect someone, nobody can kill. Yeah. And why did Vishnu take away the 10 sons of the Brahmana? Because Vishnu also wanted to take darshan of Lord Shri Krishna. They were talking about the 4 qualities that Krishna alone has that even Vishnu does not have. What are those? Leela Madhurya, wonderful pastimes, sweet pastimes. Venu Madhurya, the flute that only Krishna has. And then Rupa Madhurya, the Tribhanga form, the Shamasundara form that only Krishna has. And then Prema Madhurya, loving reciprocation with the devotees that only in the form of Krishna it is available for those devotees who are connected to Krishna in one of the 5 rasas. Because Vishnu, it is completely Aishwarya Bhav. It is like Prabhupada says in a lecture, it is like a high court judge who is in the court, right? There is so much of awe and respect for him. But the same high court judge, when he comes home, his son and his grandson, right? His small children in his family, they all ride on the chief justice, right? Because there is sweetness mood at home. So like that. So even Vishnu wanted to take darshan of, so several purposes are fulfilled. One, Vishnu wanted to take darshan of Krishna. So he took away the Brahmana sons. And then Arjuna wanted to protect the Brahmana's children. So Krishna decided that I'm going to fulfill the word of my devotee, because he wants to protect. I'm going to support him to protect. And now let us see how Krishna is going with Arjuna, and then what happens later on. Okay. If Lord Krishna, we are going to see Lord Vishnu. Yes, go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Mataji. If Lord Krishna were going to see Lord Vishnu only to reclaim the sons of the Brahmanas, then he would not have waited until the 10th son was taken. But when the 10th son was taken away by Lord Mahavishnu, and when Arjuna was therefore ready to enter into the fire, because his promise was going to prove false, this serious situation made Lord Krishna decide to go with Arjuna to see Mahavishnu. It is said that Arjuna is empowered incarnation of Naranarayana. He is even sometimes called Naranarayana. The Naranarayana incarnation is one of the Lord Vishnu's plenary expansion. Therefore, when Krishna and Arjuna went to see Lord Vishnu, it is to be understood that Arjuna visited in his Naranarayana capacity just as Krishna. When he displayed his pastime in Dwaraka, acted on his Vasudeva capacity. After visiting the spiritual world, Arjuna concluded that whatever opulence anyone can show within the material or the spiritual world is all a gift of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is manifested in various forms as Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva, or in other words, it's a Swamsa or Vibhisharasya.
Vibhinamsha.
Vihiramsha. Vishnu Tattva is known as Swamsa and Jiva Tattva is known as Vibhishnamsa. He can therefore display himself by his different transcendental pastime in the portion of either Swamsa or Vibhishnamsa as he likes, but still he remains the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. The conclusion portion of Krishna pastime is found in the 9th chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and in this chapter, Sukdev Goswami wanted to explain how Krishna lived happily in Dwaraka with all opulence. Krishna's opulence of strength has already been displayed in his different pastime, and now it will be shown how his residence at Dwaraka displayed his opulence of wealth and beauty. In this material world, the opulence of wealth and beauty are considered the highest of all opulences, yet they are only prevented the reflection of those opulences in the spiritual world. Therefore, while Krishna stayed on this planet as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his opulence of wealth and beauty has no comparison within the three worlds. Krishna enjoyed 16,000 beautiful wives, and it is most significant that he lived at Dwaraka as the only husband of these thousands of beautiful women. This is specially stated that he was the only husband of 16,000 wives. It is of the course that not unheard in the unheard of in the history of the world that the powerful king keep many hundreds of queens. But although such a king might be the only husband of so many wives, he could not enjoy all of them at one time. Lord Krishna, however, enjoyed all of his 16,000 wives simultaneously. Although it may be said that yogis also can expand their bodies into many forms, the yogis' expansion of Lord Krishna's expansion are not the same. Krishna is therefore sometimes called Yogeshwara, the master of all yogis. In the Vedic literature, we find that yogi Subhari Muni expanded himself in the 8th, but that expansion was like a television expansion. The television image is manifested in millions of expansion, but this expansion cannot act differently. They are simply reflection of the original and can only act exactly as the original does. Krishna's expansion is not material like expansion of television or the yogi. When Narada visited the different places of Krishna, he said that Krishna in his different expansion was variously engaged in each and every places of the queens. It is also said that Krishna lived in Dwaraka as the husband of goddess of fortune. Queen Rukmani is the goddess of fortune, and all other queens are her expansion. So Krishna, the chief of the Rishi dynasty, enjoyed with the goddess of fortune in full opulence. The queens of Krishna are described as permanently youthful and beautiful. Although Krishna had the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren, neither Krishna nor his queens looked older than 16 or 20 years of age. The young queens were so beautiful that when they moved, they appeared like a lightning of like a 16 or 20 years of age. The young queens were so beautiful that when they moved as appeared like a lightning moving in the sky. They were always dressed with excellent ornaments and garments, which are always engaged in sportive activities like dancing, singing, or playing ball on the roof of the palaces. The dancing and the tennis playings of girls in the material world are prevented reflection of the original pastime of the original personality of Godhead, Krishna and his wives.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad Pranam Mataji.
Thank you so much. So, see, this is the opulence of Lord Sri Krishna being described. How the opulence of Lord Sri Krishna is not comparable to the opulence of the yogis, right? What is the opulence that the yogi has? Yogi has the opulence of becoming bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest, Anurani Sam, Mahato Mahi Sam, and all that, right? He can become greater than the greatest, smaller than the smallest. He can make things disappear, right? And he can expand himself into 8 forms. That itself is wonderful, right? We cannot, if we are in one place, we cannot be in another place, right? If you are attending this Zoom session, you cannot attend another Zoom session, right? So if we are in one particular place, we cannot be in Radha Kunja Vihari temple and Radha Vrindavan Chandra temple at the same time. You have to choose. There is only one place where we can be at one time. So the yogi is being able to expand himself to 8 forms, being in different 8 different places in itself is so wonderful, right? But it's not so much wonderful when it is compared to Lord Sri Krishna, because not only is he there in unlimited forms, like 16,108 queens. When Narada Muni visited Dwarka, he saw that in each place Krishna was there with each of the queens. Krishna was there in each of the palaces doing different things. Even the yogis like the Saubhara Muni, he could expand to say 8 forms. It is like Prabhupada explaining here. It is like a television. That means it is being transmitted in 8 places. That means what? Same thing he'll be doing. If he's eating in one place, he'll be eating in all the 8 places. Maybe he's there in 8 different places, but he'll be doing the same thing. But that's not what Krishna was doing. Krishna was playing with his sons in one of the palaces. Krishna was administering justice in one of the palaces. Krishna was playing chess with Satyabhama in one of the palaces. Krishna was accepting the service of Rukmini Devi, by accepting foodstuffs from Rukmini in one palace. So like that, so many palaces, Krishna was doing different things. And this opulence was only possible for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, like that. So and that is only one of the opulence of Krishna. For the yogi, that is the only opulence, because he can become bigger than the biggest or smaller than the smallest, expand himself to various forms. But yogis generally are not very good looking, right? We also see in the pastime of Ambalika, right? How Ambika and Ambalika, when Vyasadeva is sent, Vyasadeva has got this chada because he's been meditating. So when Ambika and Ambalika looked at Vyasadeva, they got so scared, right? It's not that Vyasadeva's incarnation of the Supreme Lord, but yet they were scared. One of them closed their eyes, and one of them, the blood completely, got frozen. There was no blood flow happening. It got frozen because they were just so scared at looking at this form of the Lord. Vedavyas, the literal incarnation of the Lord. That is why Krishna only possesses all the opulences in full. Right? Yesterday also we were reading that the various incarnations of the Lord display as much opulence as is required for the time, place, circumstance, as is required for the objective of the avatar. Right? When Buddha came, he came for a purpose. Right? Similarly, when Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Sri Rama, Buddha, Kalki, all of them. Kalki is yet to come. So all of these avatars, they are all taken for a particular purpose, and they display only as much opulence. So Vyasadeva was the literal incarnation of the Lord. So he need not be beautiful. He need not be rich. He need not be opulent. So he need not be what is that? Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya. He need not have physical strength, isn't it? But Krishna has everything in full, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Krishna is the Avatari. So all the opulences are manifest in Krishna in unlimited proportion. He is the source. So from him, the various avatars pick up. Some avatars pick up the beauty of the Lord. Some avatars pick up like the Mohini Murti form of the Lord was picking up just the beauty of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vyasadeva picked up the knowledge aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he had to write the Vedic scriptures. So each of the avatars pick up what is necessary for that particular avatar to demonstrate, to fulfill that purpose. They pick up that particular opulence from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who possesses all the opulences in complete fullness, whether he is in Goloka Vrindavan or whether he is in Bhauma Vrindavan. Right? So in this way, Krishna and his associates, they are all exhibiting their opulences just for the reason to give pleasure to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Even sometimes when Krishna forgets certain things, it is again for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So everything and everyone, all of the energies of the Lord are working to give pleasure to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is complete in all the opulences, who also displays all the opulences. In some cases, when Krishna does not display his opulence, that is also according to his desire and for his pleasure. So that is the glory of the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Lord Sri Krishna. All right. Let's go ahead. Who's reading next? Okay, Archana Shri Radhika Mataji. And then Sindhu Mataji, Deval Mataji can read. Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The roads and streets of the city of Dwaraka were always crowded with elephants, horses, chariots, and infantry soldiers. When elephants are engaged in service, they are given liquor to drink, and it is said that elephants in Dwaraka were given so much liquor that they would sprinkle a great quantity of it on the road and still walk on the street intoxicated. The infantry soldiers passing on the streets were profusely decorated with golden ornaments, and horses and gold chariots piled along the streets. In all directions of Dwaraka city, wherever one would turn his eyes, he would find green parks and gardens, each of them filled with trees, plants laden with fruits and flowers. Because there were so many nice trees of fruits and flowers, all the sweetly chirping birds, bumbling bees, joined together to make sweet vibration. The city of Dwaraka thus fully displayed all opulences. The heroes in the dynasty of Yadu used to think themselves the most fortunate residents of the city, and actually they enjoyed all transcendental facilities. All the 16,000 palaces of Krishna's queens were situated in this beautiful city of Dwaraka, and Lord Krishna, the supreme eternal enjoyer of all these facilities, expanded himself into 16,000 forms and simultaneously engaged in different family affairs in those 16,000 palaces. In each and every one of the palaces, there were nicely decorated gardens and lakes. The crystal clear water of the lakes contained many blooming lotus flowers of different colors, like blue, yellow, white, and red, and the saffron powder from the lotus flowers was blown all around by the breeze. All the lakes were full of beautiful swans, ducks, and cranes, crying occasionally with melodious sound. Lord Sri Krishna sometimes entered those lakes or the rivers with his wives and enjoyed swimming pastimes with them in full jubilation. Sometimes the wives of Lord Krishna, who were all goddesses of fortune, would embrace Lord in the midst of the water while swimming or taking a bath, and the red vermilion of kunkuma decorated their beautiful breasts would adorn the chest of the Lord with reddish color. The impersonalist would not dare believe that in spiritual world there are such varieties of enjoyment, but in order to demonstrate the factual ever blissful enjoyment in spiritual world, Lord Krishna descended to this planet and showed that the spiritual world is not devoid of such pleasurable facilities of life. The only difference is that in spiritual world, such facilities are eternal, never-ending occurrences, whereas in the material world, they are simply impermanent, perverted reflection. When Lord Krishna was engaged in such enjoyment, the Gandharvas and professional musicians would glorify him with melodious musical concerts, accompanied by kettle drums, mridangas, and other drums, along with stringed instrument and brass bugles, and the whole atmosphere would change into a greatly festive celebration. In a festive mood, the wives of Lord would sometimes sprinkle water on his body with a syringe-like instrument, and the Lord would similarly wet the bodies of the queens. When Krishna and the queens engaged themselves in these pastimes, it seemed as if the heavenly king Yaksharaja were engaged in pastimes with his many wives. Yaksharaja is also known as Kuvera and is considered the treasurer of heavenly kingdom. When the wives of Lord Krishna thus became wet, their breasts and thighs would increase in beauty 1,000 times, and their long hair would fall down to decorate those parts of their body. The beautiful flowers placed in their hair would fall, and the queen, seemingly harassed by the lords throwing water at them, would approach him on the plea of snatching the syringe like instrument. This
Hare Krishna. All right. So these are all talking about the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how he is the supreme enjoyer. So you should understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when these pastimes, when we are reading such pastimes, you should understand that we should understand the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the last stage. So we're expected to know that we should not imitate the Lord. We should not think that we are equal to the Lord. We are equal to the Lord in quality, but not in quantity. We are servants of the Lord, and we have to work for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these are all pastimes of how Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, right? And how by the facility provided by Lord Shri Krishna only everybody is able to enjoy, right? And the Madhurya Ras is the supreme most. And when it comes to the material world, this is the most perverted, right? Urdha Moolam Adaha Shakam. That means the joy of the material world is the perverted reflection of the joy of the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, everybody is working to make Radha Krishna happy, to make Lord Sri Krishna happy. That is more the spiritual world. But when that becomes perverted, then what happens? I want to enjoy myself, right? Why only Krishna should enjoy? I should enjoy. So when that becomes the reason why we are engaging in activities because for my own sense gratification, then what happens? Then what happens is we want to enjoy independent of Krishna, we become envious of Krishna, and that is the reason we have landed as in the material world, which is Dukhaliyam and Ashashvatam, right? So the moment we understand that Jivera Surupe Krishnera Nitya Das, I can enjoy, I am supposed to enjoy because it is legitimate for me to enjoy, and I am always seeking enjoyment. Anandamayo Abhyasat, I always want happiness. But how is such happiness acquired? Not by sense gratification in this material world, but by simply serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in that way, when one understands that this is the correct way of enjoyment, right? This is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. If you're going to look for Sukha in this Dukhalayam, you are bound to be frustrated in our attempt to find happiness. However, we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Krishna has unlimited power to enjoy himself. Simply by being in the association of the Lord and by serving the Lord, we can also be completely, in complete enjoyment. So what is that? We need to be attached to Krishna. We need to be attached to Krishna's services. We need to be understanding from all these pastimes how the 16,108 wives with whom Krishna is having these wonderful pastimes, their only motto, their only goal in life was to serve, satisfy, and please Krishna, right? So that is why when Krishna actually told Rukmini Devi, 2-3 chapters earlier, Krishna told Rukmini Devi, why did you marry me? Right? There were so many wonderful contenders like Rukmini's brother, like Shishupal, Jarasandha, all of them are wonderful contenders. Why did you choose me? I don't even have a kingdom, right? I've just created this place called Dwaraka, and I'm just, I've just created 16,100 palaces, right? In that way, he was trying to put himself down. And what did Rukmini do? Rukmini actually, she fell unconscious. She could not even bear the fact that she can be associated with anybody other than Krishna, right? It is not about enjoyment. It is about service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like that. Okay, now let's go ahead and read the section. See, we just skip a little bit of sections because we don't want to get into the wrong mode, of enjoyment. We understand that I am the servant of Krishna, and everything what we do, we've got the crux of it. That Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, Bhoktaram, Ikritapasam, Sarvalokameshwaram. He is the supreme CEO. He is the supreme controller. He is the supreme enjoyer. He is the supreme owner of everything. And who are we? We are supposed to assist the Lord in all of his pastimes. And how do we assist the Lord? By following the instructions of our gurus. In this material world, we don't know how to serve Krishna. But when we follow the instructions of our gurus, in that way, we will be able to serve, satisfy, and please our gurus, and in that way serve, satisfy, and please Lord Sri Krishna. Yeah. So here, yeah, in this conclusion, it is said one can achieve all four of these. What are all the four principles of success? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Right? One should not be going behind all of these dharma, artha, kama, moksha, but rather one should go behind seva bhava. When we go behind the seva bhava, then what happens? You will automatically attain the goal of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Because what is moksha? Moksha means transcendence from this material world. And bhakta, what does he do? Mukti is standing at his doorstep. It does not want mukti. He only wants to serve the Supreme Lord. When bhakti is there, mukti is already obtained. Like when 200 rupees is there, 20 rupees is already as part of it, like that. Okay, so let's continue from here. This is also going to talk about what is a seva bhav. What is Shukadeva Goswami telling Parikshit Maharaj? What should we teach all of our if some of us are Shiksha Gurus or some of us are teachers, what is it that we need to teach our children? What is it we need to teach our disciples or our students or whatever may be, right? What is it that we have to come out of this Bhoga Vritti and get into Seva Vritti? When we are studying the pastimes of the Lord also, we have to be very careful not to get into the enjoyment mentality, but to be in the Seva Vritti mentality, to understand the greatness of the Lord and how I can be an instrument in giving pleasure to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why all of these Narottam Das Thakur's bhajans are all so wonderful. Simply by singing those bhajans, we will get into the right mood. What is the mood of the Acharyas in their service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Okay, fine. Let's go ahead. Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. It is stated by Shukadeva Goswami. Okay, Archana, Shri Radhika Mataji, you want to read some more? You can raise your hand. I'll call you again. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Mataji, is it half paragraph? Because Archana Mataji read that impersonal is that paragraph, right?
No. I just skipped the certain sections because it is talking about Krishna is enjoying with the queens. So, but we've got the essential gist of it, that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, Krishna is the supreme controller, and Krishna is the supreme owner of everything. So, when we study these pastimes, which we studied, this is a summary only. This is a summary of those two chapters, which we also skipped because at our level, we are not supposed to go into the details, but we understand the crux. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, and we are servants of Krishna, and we want to serve Krishna. All right, go ahead. It is stated by Shukadeva Goswami.
It is stated by Shukadeva Goswami that all the members of the Yadu dynasty had many children. Just as Krishna had many sons, grandsons, and great-grandsons, each one of the kings named herewith also had similar family extensions. Not only did all of them have many children, but all were extraordinarily rich and opulent. None of them were weak or short-lived, and above all the members of the Yadu dynasty were staunch devotees of the Brahminical culture. It is a duty of the Kshatriya kings to maintain the Brahminical culture and protect the qualified Brahmanas. And all these kings discharged their duties rightly. The members of the Yadu dynasty were so numerous that it would be very difficult to describe them all, even if one had a duration of life of many thousands of years. Srila Shukadeva Goswami informed Maharaja Parikshit that he had heard from reliable sources that simply to teach the children of the Yadu dynasty, there were as many as 80 lakhs tutors or acharyas. If so many teachers were needed to educate their children, one can simply imagine how vast was the number of family members. As for the military strength, it is said that King Ugrasena alone had 10 quadrillion soldiers as personal bodyguards. Before the advent...
Talking about the opulence of the Yadu, right? And the opulence of the Yadu dynasty in which Krishna chose to appear, right? In terms of beauty, wealth, strength, knowledge, renunciation, and fame, right? Krishna is topmost, and nobody, Asamordhva, Krishna is called. That means nobody can equal Krishna, nobody can surpass Krishna. Whether it is enjoyment, whether it is knowledge, whether it is fame, whether it is renunciation, whether it is strength, whether it is wealth, everything, Krishna is the topmost, right? He's got unlimited. Yeah, go ahead.
Before the advent of Lord Krishna within this universe, there were many battles between the demons and the demigods. Many demons died in the fighting, and they were all given the chance to take birth in high royal families on this earth. Because of their royal exalted post, all these demons became very much puffed up, and their only business was to harass their subjects. Lord Krishna appeared on this planet just at the end of Dwapar Yuga to annihilate all these demoniac kings. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya chadushkritam. The Lord comes to protect the devotees and annihilate the miscreants. Some of the demigods were asked to appear on this earth to assist in the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. When Krishna appeared, he came in the association of his eternal servitors, but some of the demigods also were requested to come down to assist him, and thus they took their births in the Yadu dynasty. The Yadu dynasty had 101 clans in different parts of the country. All the members of these different clans respected Lord Krishna in a manner befitting his divine position, and all of them were his devotees' heart and soul. Thus, all the members of the Yadu dynasty were very opulent, happy, and prosperous, and they had no anxieties. Because of their implicit faith in and devotion to Lord Krishna, they were never defeated by any other kings. Their love for Krishna was so intense that in their regular activities, sitting, sleeping, traveling, talking, sporting, cleansing, bathing, they were simply absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and paid no attention to bodily necessities. That is a symptom of a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Just as when a man is fully absorbed in some particular thought, he sometimes forgets his other bodily activities. The members of the Yadu dynasty acted automatically for their bodily necessities, but their actual attention was always fixed on Krishna. Their bodily activities were performed mechanically, but their minds were always absorbed in Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
So here we see that there's I'm just reminded of a very beautiful pastime. This is again, Narada Muni is there in this pastime. So of course, we all know Narada Muni is a pure devotee of the Lord, whether it is Dhruv Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj or even the Mrigari, the hunter, whoever we think of, whether in the Rajoguna, Tamoguna or Satuguna, they've all come into Krishna, they've all reached the highest levels of devotional service because of the intervention of Narada Muni. Even Vyasadeva for that reason. Vyasa was very despondent. Oh, I've divided the Vedas into 4. I have given the Mahabharata, yet why am I so despondent? And who came? Narada Muni came to tell Veda Vyasadeva, who's a literary incarnation of Krishna himself, that you've not adequately glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So you do that, and you'll be satisfied. So we can see the intervention or the hand of Narada Muni in almost every devotee attaining the perfection of life, right, which is Krishna Prema. But there's one pastime wherein one particular person was told by the Lord, I think it's a cobbler. I think there's a Brahmana and the cobbler story. There's one of the small children's books that is there, wherein, Narada is a transcendental spaceman. He can go to Vishnu Loka anytime. So this Brahmana was asking Narada Muni, when will I go back to Godhead? Right? And then Narada Muni said, I'm just going to Vaikuntha. I will go and I will come back and tell you that, when the Lord is saying that we'll go back. And then, and as he's walking past, he sees another cobbler. The cobbler is just mending the shoes. And, he also asked Narada Muni, can you ask the Supreme Lord, when will I go back? And then Narada Muni goes, and then Lord Krishna says, the Brahmana will take many, many lifetimes, whereas this cobbler will come back to me in this lifetime. Right? And then Narada Muni is like, I don't understand. How is it possible? The Brahmana is, is uttering Vedic mantras all the time. But the cobbler is, he's just mending the shoes. How is he, coming back, come to me like that? And then, Krishna, in order to make Narada Muni understand this, Krishna actually tells Narada Muni to carry oil. You carry oil in this, in the spoon of oil. You carry around the world and come back to me. But the only instruction is that not a drop of oil should spill as you go over the world and come back. And then Narada Muni did the task. He went all over the world, and then he brought that spoon of oil intact to Lord Sri Krishna, right? And then I'm just telling the pastime for the spirit of it. It not happened like this, one spoon or whatever, I don't know. But just to make a point, I'm saying this. So Narada Muni, when he brought it back, and Krishna asked Narada Muni, how many times did you think of me as you went around the world with that spoon of oil? And Narada Muni was like, how could I think of you? I mean, see, we need to understand the spirit of the particular pastime, right? Of course, Narada Muni always remembers Krishna. He always chants the name of Narayan. But this is a message to us, Grihasthas, right? We have so much of Swadharma that we understand that from this pastime, when Krishna asked Narada Muni, how many times did you think of me? And Narada Muni is like, I was focusing on not spilling the oil. I could not think of you. So this is again Narada Muni becoming an instrument in the hands of Lord Shri Krishna to give us a message. We have so many duties. We have to, mop the floor. We have to wash the vessels. We have to fold the clothes. We have so many duties. We have to cook. We have to do this, that. We have to go for a parent-teacher meeting in our daughter's schools, right? All that we're doing, but is our mind focused on Krishna, right? One thing of doing it is when we do Brahma Muhurta chanting for 2 hours, then it is said that Krishna will take care that the remaining 22 hours we are focused on Krishna. Another way of doing it is to always do that activity for Krishna. Like Prabhupada gives an example that if a woman has a paramour, then that woman will work for her husband in such a way, everything is spick and span in the house, everything is well taken care of. Husband does not doubt, oh, my wife even has a paramour, but the wife has a paramour and has enough time to spend with the paramour, but she does everything, all her housework in perfect order, so the husband does not think of the wife having any other engagement other than service to him, right? I'm not encouraging illicit relationships here, but the point or the spirit of this pastime or this example is that whatever we may be doing our swadharma of cooking, cleaning, washing and whatnot, but we have to remember Krishna always in our hearts. We should know that I'm doing it as a service to Lord Krishna. I'm making this breakfast for my daughter because my daughter has been entrusted to me by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So she is under my care. So I have to give her all my love, and this is in service to Lord Shri Krishna. So Krishna has to be the Kendra Bindu. Krishna has to be the center of all of our activities. Why? Because if Krishna had not assigned this particular husband, this particular wife, this particular children, and Krishna has assigned all of them to us for them to be under our care, for giving us an opportunity to serve them, and through serving them, serve Lord Shri Krishna, right? Just like the cobbler, as he was mending the shoes, he was chanting the holy names of the Lord, he was always thinking of Krishna. Whereas the Brahmana was very puffed up. Oh, I know all the verses of Bhagavad Gita. Oh, I am teaching so many people. I know all the Shastras. Like even Prabhupada, when he went abroad, before he went abroad, he was trying to preach in India. In India, what everybody was saying, oh, we know Krishna. Why do you want to tell us about Krishna? We know Krishna. And then what did Prabhupada thought? Okay, this particular place is not fertile, for giving Krishna consciousness. The highest level of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada went to the Boston, to San Francisco, and there only Krishna consciousness movement started. And the white elephants came to India, and India aping the Westerners. Then we also, started following, understanding the importance of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness and the highest transcendental nectar that Prabhupada was actually giving. Right? And Prabhupada also told the Western world, when somebody asked, why have you come here in your old age? Especially, I think Prabhupada was in London or something, England or somewhere. And then Prabhupada said, your country had come and looted India of everything, but they have forgotten to loot some very important thing that India is famous for, which is India's culture and spirituality. Now, I have come to give you what you missed to take from India. So in that way, see, those people who know a lot, they are so puffed up with their knowledge, especially the Brahmanas, right? They are so puffed up with their knowledge, they think that I know everything, right? And the very essential fact of transcendental knowledge is that we have to be humble. We need to understand that whatever little we are able to understand, it is only by the grace of Guru. It is only by the grace of Krishna, right? When we understand that, then we develop the humility. And this humility is not inferiority complex, that I will not talk about Krishna. I don't know what to speak, right? We need to try our best, at the same time be dependent on Krishna. And that is true humility, right? I may have everything I want to speak, but if my voice is not coming out on a particular day, if I'm not well on a particular day, if I'm not able to connect on Zoom on a particular day, if I don't have internet connection, there are so many factors by which nothing is under my control. I can only desire to do certain things in service to the Lord. But ultimately, it is only by the sanction of Guru and Gauranga that one can even do service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To understand that in the right perspective is humility. Humility means honesty, right? Radhanath Maharaj says, humility means honesty. It means it is a fact. It is a fact that I cannot do anything without the sanction of the Lord. Not even a blade of grass can be moved from here to there without the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we identify the hand of Krishna, then we will be able to be absorbing ourselves in Krishna all the time. Right? The 7th and the 8th chapters of Bhagavad Gita also tells us, Prasoham Apsukanteya, Prabhashmi, Shashishuryayo. Right? The taste of water is Krishna, the sun and the moon are the eyes of Krishna. Why Krishna is giving all of these things? Because we want to be absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna as we are engaged in our Swadharma. Right? And of course, our Sanatana Dharma also, we need to do exclusive activity of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead by way of chanting of Hare Krishna, by way of study of Srimad Bhagavatam, by way of hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, by way of Archa Vigraha Seva, all that is exclusive Sanatana Dharma activities. But the remaining 20 hours, 18 hours, whatever we have, when we are doing our so-called mundane activities, even those can be spiritualized. If you are able to always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, like that. Okay, let's quickly move ahead. What's the time? 12:09. Okay. Who's reading now? Deval Mataji, go ahead. And then Karpavali Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. Yeah, Srila Shukadeva Goswami has concluded the 90th chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam by pointing out 5 particular excellences of Lord Sri Krishna. The first excellence is that before Lord Sri Krishna's appearance in the Yadu family, the river Ganges was known as the purest of all things. Even impure things could be purified simply by touching the water of the Ganges. The super excellent power of the Ganges water was due to its having emanated from the toe of Lord Vishnu. But when Lord Krishna, the Supreme Vishnu, appeared in the family of the Yadu dynasty, he traveled personally throughout the kingdom of the Yadus. And by his intimate association with the Yadu dynasty, the whole family not only became very famous, but also became more effective in purifying other than the water of the Ganges. The next excellence of Lord Krishna's appearance was that although he apparently gave protection to the devotees and annihilated the demons, both the devotees and the demons achieved the same result. Lord Krishna is the bestower of 5 kinds of liberation, of which Sayujya Mukti, or the liberation of becoming one with the Supreme, was given to demons like Kamsa, whereas the gopis were given the chance to associate with him personally. And the gopis kept their individuality to enjoy the company of Lord Krishna, but Kamsa was accepted into his impersonal Brahmajyotir. In other words, both the demons and the gopis were spiritually liberated, but because the demons were enemies and the gopis were friends, the demons were killed and the gopis were protected. The third excellence of Lord Krishna's appearance was that the goddess of fortune, who is worshipped by demigods like Lord Brahma, Indra, and Chandra, remained always engaged in the service of the Lord, even though the Lord gave more preferences to the gopis. Lakshmi ji, the goddess of fortune, tried her best to be on equal level with the gopis, but she was not successful. Nevertheless, she remained faithful to Krishna, although she generally does not remain in one place, even if worshipped by demigods like Brahma. The fourth excellence of Lord Krishna's appearance concerns the glories of his name. It is stated in the Vedic literature that by chanting the different names of Lord Vishnu 1,000 times, one may be bestowed with the same benefits as by thrice chanting the holy name of Lord Rama. And by chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna only once, one receives the same benefit. In other words, of all the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, including Vishnu and Rama, the holy name of Krishna is the most powerful. The Vedic literature therefore specifically stresses the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya introduced this chanting of the holy name of Krishna in this age, thus making liberation much more easily obtainable than in other ages. In other words, Lord Krishna is more excellent than his incarnations, although all of them are equally the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The fifth excellence of Lord Krishna's appearance is that he established the most excellent of all religious principles by his one statement in the Bhagavad Gita, that simply by surrendering unto him, one can discharge all the principles of religious rites. In the Vedic literature, there are 20 kinds of religious principles mentioned, and each of them is described in different shastras. But Lord Krishna is so kind to the fallen conditioned souls of the sage that he personally appeared and asked everyone to give up all kinds of religious rites and simply surrender unto him. It is said that this age of Kali is 3/4 devoid of religious principles. Hardly 1/4 of the principles of religion are still observed in this age. But by the mercy of Lord Krishna, not only has this void of Kali Yuga been completely filled, but the religious process has been made so easy that simply by rendering transcendental loving service unto Lord Krishna, by chanting his holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, one can achieve the highest result of religion, namely being transferred to the highest planet within the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan. Considering all this, one can immediately appreciate the benefit of Lord Krishna's appearance on the earth and understand that his giving relief to the people of the world by his appearance was not at all extraordinary. Srila
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Dhanvat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So basically, the excellent qualities of Krishna, as was described in the first 89 chapters, have been summarized here in the 90th chapter. Right. So basically, all of the qualities of beauty, wealth, strength, knowledge, fame, and renunciation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right. Renunciation is how that when the gopis are with Krishna, sometimes when they feel that Krishna is enjoying with me much more than Krishna is enjoying with others, and Krishna will immediately leave that place. Right? It's not that Krishna is enjoying with a particular gopi. Krishna is being there for the enjoyment of the particular enjoyment of the particular devotee. But when that false ego comes, right? This is again a lesson for us. You're all pure devotees of the Lord, but yet it is a lesson for all of us that if that is the position of even the exalted devotees, that if they get a little bit of pride that I am giving the maximum pleasure to Lord Shri Krishna, Krishna disappears from that place. So that is the mode of humility and complete surrenderance that Krishna is demanding. Right? The fifth excellence is Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. So surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, knowing well that whatever happens happens by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this surrenderance can be best done in this age of Kali by the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashakam Namnam Kali Kalmashan Ashanam Nato Paradropaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. All the Vedic scriptures are saying that Iti Shodashakam, 16 words of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Simply by chanting this, Kali Kalmashan Ashanam, all of the ill effects of Kali Yuga are removed, and one will be able to go back to the highest spiritual world, which is Golok Vrindavan Dham. Okay, so let's do the last section. We'll continue this tomorrow. I think tomorrow we'll be able to complete this chapter. Okay. Okay, let me share my screen again. Karpagoli Mataji, you can continue reading. Sri Shukadeva Goswami thus concluded. See, we can do it today itself. Go ahead. Mataji, unmute yourself.
Thank you, Mataji. Srila Shukadeva Goswami thus concludes this description of the super exalted position of Lord Krishna by glorifying him in the following way. O Lord Krishna, all glories unto you. You are present in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Therefore, you are known as Jnana. What Mataji? Jananivasa. Jananivasa, one who lives in everyone's heart. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarva Bhudanam Hid Desi Arjuna Siddhistati. The Supreme Lord in this Paramatma feature lives in everyone's heart. This does not mean, however, that Krishna has no separate existence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Mayavadi philosophers accept the all-pervading feature of Parabrahman, but when Parabrahman or the Supreme Lord appears, they think that he appears under the control of material nature. Because Lord Krishna appeared as the son of Devaki, the Mayavadi philosophers accept Krishna to be an ordinary living entity who takes birth within this material world. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami warns them, Devaki Janmavada, which means that although Krishna is famous as the son of Devaki, actually he is the super soul or the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead. The devotees, however, take this word Devaki Janmavada in a different way. The devotees understand that actually Krishna was the son of Mother Yashoda. Although Krishna first appeared as the son of Devaki, he immediately transferred himself to the lap of Mother Yashoda, and his childhood pastimes were blissfully enjoyed by Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaja. This fact was admitted by Vasudeva himself, and when he met Nanda Maharaja and Yashoda at Kurukshetra, he admitted that Krishna and Balrama were actually the sons of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaja. Vasudeva and Devaki were only their official father and mother. Their actual father and mother were Nanda and Yashoda. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami declares Lord Krishna as Devaki Janmavada. Shukadeva Goswami then glorifies.
Let's end here.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Santatna.
Girivaradhari Gopal. Why does it say Devaki Janmavada? That means some people argue, right? Especially the impersonalists and all, they argue that then Krishna appeared in the prison house and appeared as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, right? But then how do the devotees understand that? Devotee understands that it is only with the will of Krishna that he appeared in the four-handed form in front of Devaki. And when Devaki told Krishna, she prayed to Krishna to come in the normal human-like form. because Kamsa was already guarding that jail, right? If you were to see the four-armed form of Krishna, then he will understand that this is only the Krishna who's born to kill him, right? And of course, by the divine arrangement of Krishna himself, right? All the guards fell asleep. The doors of the jail opened, and then Vasudeva took Krishna to Vrindavan, to Nanda Maharaj home where Yashoda Maya was lying down, and there's a beautiful girl child there, right? And that girl child was brought here, and it is also said that there was another Krishna who's there. Original Krishna was also there. A girl and a boy were there. And when Vasudeva took this Vasudeva Krishna to Yashoda Maya, then both these Krishnas merged, and the original Krishna absorbed this Vasudeva Krishna and took that girl child, who's the Durga Devi. Like that, Durga is the sister of Krishna, like that. So Krishna is always known as Nanda Yashoda Dulal, right? Nanda Yashoda Dulal, Girivardhari Gopal, 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 Gopal. So it's always known as Gopal, Govinda. It's always in relation to his either the cowherd boys, or in relation to the cows, or in relation to Mother Yashoda, or it is in relation to Nanda Maharaj. So like that, all of these loving reciprocations with the devotees, that is how the Lord likes to be named and likes to be glorified. Right? The Lord does not like to be known as Janardana. The Lord does not like to be known as, the various names by which his opulence is described. That he is the maintainer, he is the supreme personality of Godhead. The Lord likes those names, which are the primary names of the Lord, are those like Govinda, Keshava, Madhava, Madhusudana. Even the killing of the demons is giving pleasure to the Lord. Right? Although the Lord kills demons in his Vasudeva form, but yet there is loving reciprocation. Even the demons that Lord Krishna kills, they also go back to the spiritual world, right? Because some of these demons are also devotees in disguise who come down to give pleasure to the Lord, for the Lord to enjoy Virya Ras. So like that, any kind of loving reciprocation with the Lord for the Lord's pleasure is devotional service. It's not that we do what we like and we think that it is devotional service to the Lord. Yes, we can do that in the initial stages. We like pizza, we make pizzas at home, offer to Krishna and honor prasadam, right? That is a very neophyte stage. But as we grow in devotional service, we want to honor prasadam to maintain our body and do everything for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the highest level. Of course, we cannot imitate, but we can aspire to reach there by the causeless mercy of Guru and Gauranga, and by following their instructions. So we'll do Harinam Sankirtan. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. So please do join us for the Ekadashi special session tomorrow. We'll continue with the Ekadashi Mahatmya. We'll start with Mangalacharan prayers, Gita Mahatmya. We'll sing a very nice bhajan for the pleasure of the Lord. And then we'll continue with Bhagavad Gita study. We'll study next two verses of the Bhagavad Gita that we've been meditating upon. And from next Monday, we will continue with Srimad Bhagavatam. Hopefully by this week, Wednesday, Thursday, we should be able to complete Krishna book. From next week, Monday, Tuesday, we will have Srimad Bhagavatam. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we will start Ramayana by Krishna Dharma Das Prabhu, disciple of Prabhupada. So that's the plan. We'll quickly do Harinam Sankirtan and then we'll end of the session. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sundhavadi Asatya Deshodharine Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shriya Advaita Gadadhara Srivastava Gauravakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Jagannath Jai Jai Baladev Jai Jai Subhadra Jai Jai Subhadra Jai Madhava Jai Vithal Jai Baladev Singha Jai Shubhoswati Jai Guru Parampara Jai Prabhu Pada Jai Guru Jai Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Prabhupada Gurudev ki jai Anand Koji Vaishnava ki jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Hare Krishna. So thank you. Deval Mataji, I see your hand up. And Sindhu Mataji also had a query. So please do write in on the chat box. I will reply back to you because time is already up. We need to close the session. This ICF Zoom session. Tomorrow, Ekadashi, we will start at 11 o'clock. But it depends on, when the Zoom ID gets free. So generally it gets free by 11 o'clock. But I'll just check that out. And I will post a message. So we'll keep it at 11 o'clock, 11 to 12:15 tomorrow. And I will post when we are online, then I'll post saying we are online and then please join in. So as of now, you can mark the time as 11 to 12:15 p.m. We'll do our Ekadashi special session tomorrow. And Deval Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, do write into me your query and then I will reply back to you. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hare Hare. Yeah, Yoga Maya and Durga Devi is Mahamaya, so there was doubt. Yeah, Yoga Maya is Subhadra. Subhadra Devi is Yoga Maya. And this girl child who was there along with Krishna, original Krishna, lying beside Yashoda Maya is Mahamaya, Durga Devi. Right? We see that when Kamsa throws a child, it assumes of Mahamaya. Right? So that's what it is. All right? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shobha Mataji, Sridhar Prabhu, Arjit Mataji, Anusha Mataji, Rajneesh Prabhu, Archana Mataji, Karpavali Mataji, Rajeshwari, Rajiv Mataji, Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji. Nice to have darshan of all of you wonderful devotees. Hare Krishna. Sindhu Mataji and our Archana Shri Radha Mataji, Nagavini Mataji, Meenakshi Mataji, Deval Mataji. Thank you very much. Oh, Pranav Prabhu is there. Our Ramesh Prabhu is also there. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Nitai God Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, devotees. Meet you all tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock, Brahma Murta chanting. And then at 11 o'clock, for our Ekadashi special session. And I hope everyone has filled the Google Forms. We'll close the Google Forms now. I hope all of you have chanted and updated. All of you have chanted Nama Ramayan. We'll chant Narsimha Kavacham for you and I'll post today. And tomorrow again, we are having the next round of increased number of rounds with the pleasure of Lord Sri Krishna on the auspicious occasion of Ekadashi.